Welcome to the Bean Apple Podcast. Join Joe, John, and Jim as they discuss the biggest stories in the world of sports.
You put them all together, it makes a nice package, right?
Get ready
for passionate and intelligent conversation about the biggest issues and personalities in sports.
It's unscripted.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Some people call him dirty. I like to call him creative.
It's unfiltered.
I'm going to need another beer soon.
And I said, well, hold, you're making my point, right? My thoughts are I'm going to call my therapist after the show is what I'm going to do.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Bean Apple. I hope you enjoyed the new intro. It seems that the site right now is having some weird connection stuff, so hopefully it sounded and worked okay for you guys. Because on our side, it was a little weird. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think of the new intro. If you like it, if you hate it, what we need to fix. So with that, we're going to dive into the show. So we got John and Jim back again, the dynamic trio, to break down this past week, right? We went from extremely happy to 1/3 happy.
Yeah.
This week. What a crazy week. This is going to be fun to break down and kind of talk about. I can't wait to hear what John has to say about his Patriots outstanding showing on Thursday Night Football and Jim's lack of offense, and then the Jets' absolute lack of football capacity at this point. So with that, as always, hit that subscribe button, help us grow, hit the bell, set it to all, get all of our notifications, and as always, throw your comments down wherever you're watching. We'll answer as many questions as we can. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the games. Patriots, Jets, Giants fans. I know we all have a range of emotions after this week, so drop them in there. Let us know. And with that, let's dive into the Patriots and talk about the Thursday Night Massacre. Should we call it?
So as you can probably see, I have now what? Because now what? They came into that game playing pretty damn well. They came off a 45-0 shutout. I know it was against the Chargers, and everybody's beating the Chargers right now. But, it's like I said when I watched them play Baltimore. I watched them play the LA Chargers. I said, I knew from the beginning I wasn't worried. Well, from the beginning of the Pats and Rams, I was worried.
Yep.
It started on the first drive of the game. Cam Akers destroyed us single-handedly. 171 yards rushing, 186 total for the team, which they didn't need anybody else. But my thing was, we were in the red zone 4 times and didn't score a point. 4 times. 4 times. 4. That's it. And we gave up a defensive touchdown to them. So theoretically, our defense calmed down after the first really 18 minutes of the game, around there, because they only gave up 7 more points after that. So it's not like Goff was killing them. I think he passed for under 200 yards, which I know he did. Nobody destroyed us except for Akers, and they still didn't score. So it was like, what went wrong? And what went wrong was we couldn't score in the red zone. 4th and 1 again, 3 straight running plays, and 2 of them were for Cam. You knew what was going on. If he cannot throw the ball at that junction of the game, then find another quarterback that can. Cam. Cam.
But
no, and then Stidham came in and got killed. So a couple things I'm going to blame this on. The offensive line, I even said it last week. I thought it was going to be one of our strengths. It was absolutely one of our weaknesses. Our defensive line, which I thought they were going to have to stop like Robert Woods or somebody or Higbee, and little did I know they had to stop the running game, and they couldn't do that at all. And what's crazy was he ran for 171 yards, and his longest run was 35 yards. He would get 35 yards, 25 yards, 20 yards. It was just so painful to watch. And then Cam finally throws for 100, And finally, after 3 straight games of under 80, I think, and now this, and I don't dislike Cam, I don't, but I mean, there has to be something in our offense that we can throw the ball 1 out of 4 times from the 2 or 3 yard line and score. I mean, there just has to be a play. You're telling me nobody can catch a ball that close? Cam can't throw the ball 2 yards. Come on. I mean, that 4th and 1, hold on, the 4th and goal. I mean, the Rams knew exactly what was coming because there was 7 people all over Cam Newton. Oh, yeah. 7 people all over him. And it was just brutal to watch. Our D got toasted earlier in the game with some passing plays, but, I mean, that calmed down. But, again, we didn't stop Cam Akers, and we couldn't score in the red zone. I mean, that's 28 points, 28 potential points we could have scored, and we win 31-17 or 31-24.
Yeah.
But we didn't. But we didn't, and it was from the first drive of that game with the Rams, I knew we were in deep shit. I knew it. And I think New England knew it too, to be quite honest, because they played that way. They absolutely played that way. So Now what? Now I'm going to throw out there, now what? Somehow we're still in contention to make the playoffs because the Raiders lost again, and Miami, thank God, lost to Kansas City. I mean, that was almost an absolute nightmare game. I won't get into the Dolphins much, but I mean, they came back and they picked, Mahomes off 3 times. I thought they were going to win, and I'm like, I have to have Kansas City to win. And thank God they did, because that's the chance that the Pats still have. And lo and behold, we play Miami this week. So we play Miami this week, and in Buffalo and the Jets. And honestly, after watching Buffalo last night, that team's quite frightening right now.
Hell yeah, they are.
I'll tell you what, Jordan Palmer. I don't know if you guys seen that. Not to get on off a tangent, but Jordan Palmer's been working with him on his mechanics on step, hip, throw. And I'll tell you what, I mean, they showed it last night. He's doing exactly kind of what he's being coached to do. So they look scary. But, I mean, if we don't get past Miami, then it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you ask for when you're playing Mahomes, though? Back to Miami real quick. I mean, you pray that he has 3 turnovers. 3 interceptions. It was 10-0 when I first saw the score, and I thought, wow, what's going on here? And I figured he's just going to light it up and throw 7 touchdowns in the second half.
Right.
But 3 INTs, he has more INTs than TDs. And, I mean, that's all you can ask for, and you only lose by 6. I mean, I thought the defense played pretty good there with the turnovers, but again, they were tip balls and stuff like that. But still, what else can you ask for? I mean, the guy could have threw 6-0, right? But he didn't. So back to your Patriots there. When I started watching that game, I thought to myself, I wonder if John has that same feeling about they have it in control, because I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way at all.
Not one time. Not one time.
I said to myself, And I'll say, I was talking to my brother this week too, and last night I think it was, and I said, I'm trying to think of which teams really scare me right now, right? And I mean, when you think about, okay, KC, obvious, that's an obvious answer. But then you think about what other teams are the teams that scare you. I think Buffalo is a team that could fall into that. I think the Packers fall into that. And then I think, who else is there? And I think still, and I didn't say this in the beginning of the season, but I think the Rams are a team that could. The coach, they have some history now. They made it to the Super Bowl. I think those 4 teams, because I don't see Seattle. Seattle's beatable. The Ravens, the Arizona. There's a lot of teams that kind of just, I think, are going to fall by the wayside. And I'm trying to see who's it going to go through. And I think the Rams. I mean, they handled the Pats pretty easily the other night, but
unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and that play on the 3-yard line or whatever, and Cam running the ball, it wasn't even like a fake. It was like he just called hike and kind of tiptoed to the line and got set. I didn't even understand what he was doing. I could say anyone in the stadium would have saw it, but it just made no sense to me. I couldn't believe they didn't call one pass play, any kind of screen, flip, nothing. Just run to the line. It was like the Jets. Frank Gore. They got nothing. Minus yardage. Okay. Yeah, I was really surprised to see they couldn't punch it in there, or at least try and trick them. Try and do something. I mean,
something.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It looked like was kind of talking about like Sean McVay possibly getting cute and trying to outdo the Patriots, but that team looked cool, calm, and collected the entire time, and the Patriots were the ones that looked like they were trying to get cute, but they also seemed scared. Like the play calling,
I know.
it seemed like they were scared to let Cam do anything. I mean, just those stupid runs up the middle and get nothing. Like what is that? You know what I mean? That was rough for me.
Yeah.
And I've got a stupid poodle.
Who does? You?
That's Joe.
I'm looking at John's dog. I don't see his mouth moving.
No, that's my German Shepherd. Trust me, you'd be hearing him.
Oh, yeah. So, so the Pats, and I think it was my brother last week that said the Pats will not get in the end zone tonight. I think that was during the show. He's before the game. During our show.
Yeah.
He called it.
I mean, 4 times in the red zone absolutely kills me. It's one of those things where, just terrible play calling, a turnover, of course, and just not good execution, taking sacks when you shouldn't. Awful plays. I mean, it's just one of those things where it just hurts. It just hurts.
Yeah,
that was funny.
No, you weren't. The mute is the other button, I think.
Yeah, you weren't muted, so that
wasn't muted. That was loud.
You need to leave that on.
Well, I hit the mute button. The mute right was red. So
really?
What are you gonna do?
Right. So
it's television. Sorry.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
so
just a scared looking Patriots team.
Mm-hmm.
Not even scared, just a shitty one. You know, I mean, a scared team wouldn't run 3-4 straight times up the middle. I just think it was terrible play calling. And then what was funny, I was going to tell you guys this. So WEEI up here for Jim, I know, Joe, you've seen it all the time. It's a Boston sports radio. Mm-hmm. And every year about this time, they talk about Josh McDaniels being a head coach somewhere. And right after that game, of course, they start linking him. Oh, where's he going to go this year? You know what? Nowhere. No. He's not going to go anywhere.
No.
He should have taken the Indy job when he had a chance, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, can we beat Miami? I mean, we have already. Can we beat the Miami team that played Kansas City yesterday? No, we can't. So again, it's going to be, Bill against Coach Flores down there, and it's going to be a tough one. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of expats are on that team. Tua, I'm not scared of Tua yet. I think he's going to be good, but he still has a lot to learn. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to expect at all.
Yeah, but it's just every week in and week out. Cam again. 9 completions on 16 attempts. At least he broke 100 yards this week, 118 yards, and an interception. But, I mean, this is 3 weeks in a row at least 3 weeks in a row without double-digit completions in a game. I know you were all confident and cocky. Patriots are going all the way, and we've got this. But, you can't do it like this.
Not with him.
We've talked about it every week. You can't win in this league without a quarterback.
No,
you'll win a couple games without it. You'll get some good defensive games. You'll get some good running games. Things will go right. You'll win some games, but you're not going to do shit in this league, long term with a quarterback that's completing 9, 8, 7 completions a game. Like, not when you start running into powerhouses like the Rams appear to be. So. Like you said, Cam Akers, that 171 yards, like, my God, welcome to the NFL. And that's not, maybe rookie quarterbacks don't beat the Patriots, but rookie running backs sure as shit do.
They sure do.
God. I mean,
what happened to the defense? I mean, the defense was playing well, and then they couldn't stop them for nothing. I mean,
for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No.
So, not since, I want to say, the Jets game, has Cam really had a breakout game. I'm kind of going through these a little bit and kind of taking a look at it. And, I mean, actually, I'm sorry. The Texans, he threw for 365.
Yeah.
So where is that offense? I mean, the Cardinals, he was 9 for 18. That's when it started. So that would, that's his run of 3 straight games, or 2 straight games under 100 yards. But where is that 365 again? I know it's against the Texans, who was a bad team. He lit up Seattle. He put up decent numbers against Miami the first week. He had 75 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 174 yards passing. But it's like, where is that? Why can we not do that now? Right. Almost 3/4 of the season done.
But even last week against the Chargers, defense is nothing to be scared of. They were a 3-win team at the time, and he had 69 yards passing. I was wrong. He did have double-digit completions. He had 12 completions in that game for 69 yards.
Well, that's even worse then.
Yeah.
Because that means he's averaging 5 a pass. I mean, what is that? I just don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. I liked what I seen of Cam early on in the season. Again, I don't know if COVID has affected him. I don't know, but why not try Stidham right now? I mean, I get we still have a chance, but just something. I mean, look what friggin' Hurts did yesterday for Philly. That whole team played like the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. My God, from defense to special teams to offense. Who knows? Maybe the Patriots just kind of need something like that to get him going. And I'm not saying Cam's not a leader, but maybe he can lead from the sidelines and help Stidham out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but here's what I foresee. I see us beating Miami. We get happy again, and we go to Buffalo and get annihilated, and then we throw the Jets game. So the Jets get the number 2 pick.
You got that backwards. There. The Dolphins come to you, and you go to the Dolphins, and the Bills come to you. That's right. So you'll probably win that home game against the Bills and lose to Miami.
We'll win the next 2. We'll be about 18 in the draft next year and go from there.
But there's no way you're winning the next 2.
Come on. We will, because it doesn't matter now. We will, because it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but you're not out of it by any means. Because
we're not.
The Dolphins lost. The Raiders lost. Who's ahead of you beside? Hold on. Let's bring up the standings real quick. So you're still 2 games behind the Dolphins, but the Ravens, you're still 1 game back. We'll see what they do tonight. And then Raiders, and the Raiders lost as well. So it's not over. If you could, like you said, you could pull one off. And Miami's schedule's tough. I'm not going to be surprised if they lose all 4 games. They'll all be competitive, but I would not be surprised at all if they lose all 4 of those. Baltimore,
3, right? Don't they got 3 left?
Or 3 left. Sorry, I was saying. They lost
Patriots,
the Chiefs,
Raiders, and the Bills. Patriots, Raiders, and Bills.
And there you go. So they've got to play.
Good.
They got to play the Raiders. So there's a loss for one of the 2 teams that's ahead of you as well.
Yeah.
That you'll jump, as long as you could win games, you could jump ahead. So there's still 2 games out, but a very hard schedule for the Dolphins. They've got to play the Raiders. Baltimore's up and down all year. You don't know which Baltimore team, kind of like the Patriots, which Patriots team can show up, which Baltimore team can show up. So, but Baltimore's got a super cake schedule the rest of the way as well. They only got the Browns tonight, and then after that, Jaguars, Giants, Bengals. So they've got a clear path.
So they're going to lose only one of those games.
So they got it easy.
Not if the Giants team that played this weekend shows up.
You got that right.
See, I picked the Giants for the first time this year in our pick.
Don't do that anymore.
I'm doing it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I did it the first week. The first week I picked the Giants to win.
That's why we lost. That's why. I couldn't figure it out. Now I know.
F you, Eli.
That's clearly what the difference
10 right there.
That's clearly what the difference was.
Yes. 26-7, right? Come on. So in the beginning of the game, so we're going to switch over to the Giants, right? So
please do.
Giants go in, and Arizona goes down the field and have that goal line stand against Arizona. Arizona's, gets first down, second down, third. They can't punch it in. Fourth down, they decide to just go for it and throw, unlike the Pats, to DeAndre and Bradbury goes up through the triangle, knocks the ball away.
He makes a delicious jam. Yeah. Delicious jams up there in New York.
It's great, Blackberry. So Bradbury breaks it up, right? Turnover on downs. I mean, beautiful. I mean, that's a great start. And but in reality, when your team punts 8 times, you're probably not winning the game, right? I mean, it was just unbelievable. So the offensive line couldn't stop Arizona for anything. I mean, I said last week I had no issue with McCoy starting, and let Jones sit one more week and don't rush and don't risk injury. Thankfully, I don't believe he was injured. But, man, he was not mobile. You knew he wasn't going to run. They loaded up the box. I mean, Hassan Reddick, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. The guy was a nightmare all game. And then
franchise record 5 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. Jones was on his back. Jones was – just gearing up to get hit. He wasn't comfortable back there. And Marcus Golden, I don't know if you saw that hit he put on Jones early on and forced the fumble. And I can't believe he didn't pick it up and run it in. He did pick it up and got tackled. But, I love Golden too. I loved when he was on the Giants. I hated that we traded him away. And here he comes back to haunt us. And he comes around the corner and slams Jones almost face first and knocks him down. But, I mean, Jones is only 11 for 21 for 127 yards. It's almost like Cam Newton numbers there. And Murray, 24 for 35, 244. Yeah, I know. I mean, Murray, and it's funny because I didn't feel like they blew us away. Yeah, 26-7, right? And Murray rushes for 47 yards. Arizona, 159 yards altogether. But I didn't feel like we were totally overmatched. I mean, they had 8 sacks we lost 64 yards in yardage there. But, it was just the O-line couldn't stop them at all. And Jones was running for his life back there and was off balance and not comfortable. And our line couldn't do anything. All we were able to do when we got into the backfield was open up a lane for Murray to run through. I mean, every time we got back and beat their guys, there was a lane for him to run through. I couldn't believe over and over again. And it's what you want. You want to get back there and push the line back, but it was almost like it was geared. The scheme was to do that, just like when you have a screen pass and you don't block and everybody runs up, and he was able to run down the field and just brutal. But they targeted Slayton more, so he had 8 targets this game, right? Only 3 receptions, but at least they were throwing the ball to him again, so that was good to see. But 13-0 at halftime. I was still comfortable at halftime. I said, okay, we're in it. Our defense looked pretty good on that goal line stand, and hopefully we can start moving the ball just like we did against Seattle. Seattle was 5-0 at halftime. Arizona 13-0. Okay, not what you want, but the game's not out of hand yet. And we just could not.
Where'd it go?
The pitch is still there.
Yeah. Almost. We're having some serious technical issues with this website today. Oh, he's coming back to us.
Here, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yes.
Now we can.
Nope. Now you're gone. There we go. Let's try that. You there? You got us? Okay.
I heard you guys the whole time.
You went completely.
Yeah, you were frozen.
Gone.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So
that's all I have to say about that. Like I'm Forrest Gump. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah. No, so Jim, you bring up a couple of really good points here. So you look at the score of this game and everything that transpired, right? Like Arizona, 390 total yards to 159. 3 turnovers for the Giants, 0 for Arizona. Time of possession, 37 minutes for Arizona to 22 minutes. 22 first downs for Arizona compared to 10 for the Giants.
Yep.
But this game had 4 field goals by Arizona in it. So the defense was doing pretty good.
Right.
I mean, it was it was 6-0 halfway through the second quarter. So it wasn't like at any point this game got out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. You think by looking at the score and looking up the numbers that you'd think this game was just
it was a blowout.
Just done for. But it was the defense still played pretty well. I mean, holding that offense to four field goals is no small task in itself. But
right, it wasn't big plays. It wasn't DeAndre. Yes, he always gets 100 yards at MetLife, right? And he got 135 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like they were just running up and down the field on us. It didn't feel that way, even though the numbers don't show that, right? It didn't feel like we got blown out or we had no chance and we weren't competitive.
Right, but we know why they lost. We talked about it in the preview show. Is they were going to win that game with Wayne Gallman running all over them, and Wayne Gallman only had 12 carries in the game.
Yeah,
12 carries. He should have had 12 carries before halftime, especially in a game that was 6-0 halfway through. Like,
you're right.
12 carries for 57 yards in the whole game. They just and then who do they give the touchdown to? Dion Lewis.
I know.
A 1 yard run. You're at the 1 yard line, and you give it to. I mean, granted, it worked, but
you got
give it to little Dion Lewis to try and punch it in from the one. It was like Adam Gase was calling the offense on this one. It just nothing was making sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't understand it. I mean, we talked about this weeks ago. This is a running team. Like the Giants are a running team, and that's what opens up everything for them. And they just abandoned the run in this one. I don't know what it was. It was the way the numbers look is this game was 28-0 in the start of the second quarter, and they just had to go into like extreme catch-up mode. Is almost how they seemed like they were playing this whole game. Like they just had to catch up. And it was never like that. It's so weird.
Yeah, it was a confusing game for sure. I mean,
yeah,
I really thought it was going to be a lot closer. And like I said, it was really the O-line. Our O-line couldn't stop them, and our D-line couldn't get to Murray. I mean, that's really what it came down to, right? I mean, that was it. I mean, Murray ran for 47 yards on 13 carries, but it was just little bites here and there, but it was consistent. But it wasn't any big bombs and big plays or big mistakes. I don't think we made really any big mistakes to lose the game either. So,
well, I look at it as 6 sacks from a team that has a depleted defense. You know what I mean? Because they have a lot of people on IR. And I think I talked about that as I was picking the Giants, to be quite honest. I thought with Jones coming back, I didn't think there was going to be a chance in hell they were going to get to him. But they sacked him 6 times. I mean, granted, 5 times by one person, so that always helps. But, I mean, they were just getting to him. And, Slayton had 8 targets. He only had 3 catches, though. You know what I mean? So I didn't watch the whole game. I watched the red zone, so I kind of got to see what happened. And just very surprising that, again, I took Gallman in all my DraftKings, all of them. I mean, I thought he was going to run all over Arizona. And for the first half, he did pretty decent. But I'm like, why does he only have like 7 or 8 carries? And then they completely abandoned the run once they got down, which I understand. But I'm like, man, you got a great running back there that you're not using. And Jones, who knows, maybe they would have did better with Colt McCoy playing. I still think Jones is much better than Colt McCoy.
Oh, sure.
And I thought, that was going to be an over game if Jones played, to be quite honest, for points.
But why do you abandon the run?
I don't know. I didn't understand that.
13-0 at halftime.
Right.
You're not even down by 2 scores. You're not out of that game. You don't abandon the run.
They stopped it. I mean, they just stopped running the ball. And I don't know. Maybe the O-line, maybe they've seen something with the O-line with all the sacks happening. I don't know. But, I mean, that was not – I mean, and then Washington beats Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus. So now it's like, wow.
That Washington team, man, they look.
Well, it's all Chase Young. All of a sudden, Chase Young woke up, right?
And then the Niners,
Tomlin made that comment to him, right? Now he's lit up, right? Just like Metcalf. Metcalf, they made a comment, hey, you're not Megatron. Then he gets lit up. So, okay.
And then they beat the 49ers yesterday. So now 2 huge wins in a row. And now Seattle goes to Washington. And let's face it, West Coast coming to East Coast doesn't fare very well. And I'll tell you what, God, what was their draft pick this year?
Who?
Washington. Who's that guy?
Chase Young.
Oh my God! Yeah, thank you. So that guy, I was watching the Redskins game for a while yesterday. That guy looks like friggin' Khalil Mack on steroids. Is what he looks like when Khalil Mack first came in. I mean, he had the sack, and then he had a strip sack, and then the fumble recovery, and he ran it back. And the guy weighs 300 pounds, and he's chiseled like an absolute rock. And it was funny on Facebook. I'm on the thread all the time about SEC and Big 12, but they started talking about, should he have been the number one pick? No, he shouldn't have, because, you build your franchise around a quarterback. And some guy brought up a good point. Any defensive player that's in a Heisman race should go number one. And now we're kind of seeing why. I mean, he was so hyped, and he was hyped as the best player coming out last year. He really was.
He was by far the best player coming out of the draft, just not the top need of the team that was at number one. I mean,
but I don't think anybody could have seen him like picking up a defense the way he has Washington. Not get on a Washington kick, but my God, that's two very impressive wins the last 2 weeks. Even with Haskins coming in yesterday, you know what I mean? Alex Smith went out, and Haskins came in. Now, can they beat Seattle like that? I don't know, but boy, you better hope so, Jim, because that team doesn't have the roughest schedule in the world, and you guys got to play Cleveland next, So,
no, I mean, and really, Young, it's only been the last few games. I mean, at the beginning of the season, he wasn't doing anything. But, man, something happened, and there's a fire under that kid now. And, he looks unstoppable. The whole team's rallying around him. And the Redskins, Washington football team is playing well because of it. So,
well, when you're the number one player coming out of the draft, there's a reason for it. I mean, might have just taken him a couple games to kind of get the NFL speed, but it looks like he picked it up pretty quick, and he just busted through that rookie wall. A lot of rookies this year. It's insane. Like every year they say like wide receiver and tight end are hard to transition into the NFL to, but it seems like those days are gone. Like the wide receivers this year are unbelievable across the board. The rookie wide receivers, insane. Justin Jefferson up in Minnesota. They traded Stephon Diggs for Justin Jefferson. That's crazy to think about. Like just got a better version of Stephon Diggs on a much younger body, which is crazy. But Brandon Ayuk in Arizona had 100 yards with Mullins throwing to him. You've got who else? I mean, it's weird though. The top three
Gibson for the Redskins too. I mean, he's out running back, but he had like 11 touchdowns before he was out. So I mean, if he comes back, oh my goodness. I mean, that's.
Yeah, but it's funny how the top three wide receivers that came out aren't. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's still doing good, but Jerry Jeudy is non-existent in Denver. Henry Ruggs. I mean, outside of saving the Jets season, which I'll always be a fan of him for, that's the first time I've really heard his name this year. So those top three guys that were supposed to be the elite, the 1A to the
can't miss.
But the other guys are showing them up pretty good. I mean, even Denzel Mims in the limited time with the shitty play calling has looked pretty decent when he's gotten a chance to get the ball too. So I'm excited about that as well, but we'll see.
And the good thing is they're all getting playing time. They're all right in there. So it's not only, that they're performing, they're getting in every game, right? They're starting games. And and I don't remember that in the past where they got picked and they were right out there, opening day. And it is different.
Yeah.
And it's good to see them succeeding.
Yeah, there's some good ones slated to come out this year too. I mean, you got two more from I think they'll all be gone by then, but you got Jamar Chase there from LSU that's supposed to come out, who sat out this whole year, who looked great. And then you got Waddell, and who's the other guy from Alabama?
Smith. Smith. So he's supposed to be like the number one Heisman front runner now, I believe.
Which and they were comparing him to Ruggs and Jeudy, and his numbers are better than both of them, and they both went. They were both can't miss wide receiving prospects, and Smith is better statistically and rates higher than they did, which is incredible with the talent that those guys have. So some really good wide receivers. Then you got the Rashad Bateman, I think it is, coming out of Minnesota. I think he is. There's a lot of good receivers coming out again that teams are going to get a hold of, and yeah, it's interesting. It's good to see because it's an offensive league now, and seeing these guys coming out and just right out the gate just eating, like it's exciting. It's fun, especially from a fantasy perspective.
So I wonder, right? Let me just throw this out here before we talk about the Jets, but I wonder because the Bengals will more than likely have number 3, right? And we all know they need a left the tackle from Oregon, right? But with that wide receiver from LSU sitting out, will he be reunited with Joe Burrow? Do they make a play for that? I mean, they killed it, the year he was there. So it's like, and I know Jefferson was huge too when he was there too. I get it, but man, now you get a combo of 2 players that know each other.
Yep.
Do you maybe bypass? I still think that's high for number 3, but I think
I don't think so. Not for him.
Well, I would say it's high for number 3 when you get a franchise, guard right there, franchise left guard that you could draft, or do you trade away? I don't know how to do it, but I mean, I just think it's very. I'm gonna have to talk to my son-in-law about this one, what he thinks about this, because there's a potential they could have that connection in Cincinnati next year, when Burrow does come back. So I don't know, just a thought. I know it's hard to pass up a no shit, franchise left guard, but is anybody can't miss? No.
Yeah.
But you've already seen that relationship and dynamics,
right.
The year Burrow went nuts. I mean, I'd be very, if I was a general manager, I'd be licking my chops with that one.
I'm sure Joe Burrow is going to be sending a couple texts like, hey, take a look at my boy. But at the same time, he probably wants his blind side protected. His knee is probably hey, Joe, shut the fuck up with the wide receiver. Remember this pain down here. Once the pain meds wear off, you're going to remember why you want a left tackle.
Yeah, remember, I can't walk right now, man. You can't walk right now, buddy boy. So
and they're going to lose AJ Green,
which is fine.
But they have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So they've already got two really good looking.
They do, but I'm just wondering if they would even contemplate doing that, pulling like a Detroit Lions type deal where they take a wide receiver, their first round picks for
3 years in a row. That worked out good for them. Well, they got Megatron.
I mean, great. Yeah, they got Megatron
and they missed on the other two. So, yeah, I don't know. That would be scary to have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd there with maybe Joe Mixon, who knows? But he got paid, so he might not care if he plays again. But that would be a hell of an offense, and you're going to be picking high. You're going to be picking high in the second anyway, so you could probably grab an offensive lineman there as well. That's an interesting war room to be sitting in to see how that plays out. It'll be interesting, but
you'd have to get his buy-in too. I mean, you have to get Burrow to chime in on that.
Right.
So speaking of picking wide receivers, did you see that stat? I think it was the last Pats game the other night where they showed the wide receivers they pick in the first round that they're all busts.
Every one of them.
I didn't
they
know
always
that.
happen. Oh yeah,
I didn't know it until I read it, and I was like, "Wow!" I mean, what? How does that happen?
Never mind the first round, the second rounds. They don't hit, man. They don't hit.
That's
was it fewest?
Most of them aren't even in football anymore, right?
Yeah, most of them aren't.
I think it's fewest receptions and yards out of all the drafted wide receivers that have come out.
Yeah, thanks.
That's crazy. I liked it. I thought that stat that's one of the best stats that any broadcasting show has put up. Personally,
but you would think when you read that, you would think they've been horrible. The team, so the team has had all that success and yet haven't been able to bring in a receiver.
It's gross. Yeah, I mean, it's just gross.
Well, I mean, Brady's had that capacity to make mediocre wide receivers really good. Like, what would Julian Edelman be on another team? Would he even be who he is?
Wes Welker, right? Those guys. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Wes Welker's he was a good slot guy in Miami before that. I remember seeing him, I think it was his rookie year, and he was looking really good. I even picked him up like the end of the fantasy season because he was going crazy. And then for some reason, Miami just gave him to the Patriots. It's like, what?
I know.
What is this? And that was great. But
no, the Pats gave up a second-round pick for Wes Welker.
I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I was floored
okay.
at that. I remember when they gave up that pick, I'm like, a second-round pick? Who the hell's Wes Welker? And it took me about 2 games to realize, okay, this is
It was worth it.
okay. Yeah, that second-round pick was worth it. Really
Yeah.
was.
Which is probably that's probably equitable for where he should have actually been drafted. I mean,
Right.
I mean, he's not a first round pick, but definitely a second rounder, I would say easily. Yeah. But yeah, that Brady was definitely a huge part of that, and it's going to be interesting to see if the Patriots don't start drafting really, really well, this team's going to continue to slide because Brady I think covered up a lot of those issues that were there, a lot of the weaknesses that were in that team between Bill's scheming and Brady's talent. Was able to overcome a lot of that, but you can see now with Bill's scheming and Cam's talent, you can't overcome it. Like, it just is what it is. So if
honestly, the last one they hit on was this guy Malcolm Mitchell, and you probably don't remember him. He didn't put up huge stats, but a hell of a possession receiver, really was. And he got hurt and just never. I mean, he's out of football. He retired. He was drafted in 2016. I mean, just a great outlet, though, on the sideline for Brady back then. And, I mean, just a short-handed guy. Didn't see a lot of targets, but every time they needed a first down, it seemed like he got it. You know what I mean? And that was it. That's the last receiver. I mean, even second round, late round, I mean, just terrible draft picks. Really was. But,
yeah. All right, so let's transition over to the number one story of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
That other team that's renting space at Giant Stadium?
The New York Jets and the path to victory. My God, this game was something else. I mean, I never had to sweat, and I knew I wasn't going to have to. I saw the line ended up getting up to 16.5 before the game started. You could have doubled it. You could have doubled it and still broke even. That's insane. 37-point loss. Largest win that the Seahawks have had in Pete Carroll's coaching there. 37 points, 40-3. The starters were out midway through the third quarter. That's how bad it was. Russell Wilson, Geno Smith was in playing against us in the third quarter.
Remember me? Oh, my God, he was.
Yeah.
And he went 4 for 5. Good for him.
It was disgusting.
Maybe we need to sign him.
There was no I talked about this in the pregame, was that there's the defense is not going to be able to stop anybody, and there was no contested touchdowns in this game. It was just like, hi, I'm here, nobody else is playing, touchdown. It was insane. The only one that was contested, and the only highlight play in this was Marcus May's
one-handed
interception over Metcalf, which was beautiful. And on the other side of that, Jamal Adams took a pass, I think, off of it might have hit like in his face mask, and somehow he didn't catch it. It looked like it was
that was a pick
right at him. It was just like boop, dropped it. Like, that's why you don't get paid right there. Like, great.
That's why he's not a wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, as a safety, you gotta
I know.
You gotta be pulling those down. But yeah, Sam Darnold did not have any interceptions in this game. He tried
to have 3.
He should have had 3.
He did.
He should have had 3 interceptions.
He dropped 3 of them, right?
Another disgusting game.
So what is he showing you? What is he showing the coaches? What is he he's not showing you that he's the guy. You think he's going to try and – I mean, John and I were close. I said 41-10. John said 40-something. I mean, when the game was getting there, I had to go back and watch the show again and say, what did I say? Because I know I'm really close.
Right.
I was hoping to hit it right on the nail. It would have been great if Jets would have scored and it was 41-10 or 40-10. Then I would have been off by 1 point. And
that's the thing. This is the worst passing defense in football. Right. That's why I said 14. I figured you'd get 2 garbage touchdowns against the worst pass defensive team in the league, and they couldn't do anything. Even in the third and fourth quarter, they were done. All the starters were out of the game, and you can't score against Seattle's the worst pass defense in the league's second string. You were playing like that's how bad this team is. How are the Patriots going to lose to them? That's the question. Like,
intentionally, if they do it,
yeah.
I don't even
think it's going to be intentional.
I don't think they can. Even if they don't try, they're going to score. Like that's
I know Brian Hoyer plays. We're not scoring.
It's incredible. They are now at a negative 210-point differential.
They got the record now, don't they? All time?
Nope, the record is 287.
Well, they will.
Oh my God. Okay, they got 3 games.
And they've got the Rams, the Browns, and the Patriots left. The Rams can put up 40 against them, without a doubt.
Sure.
The Browns can score 30, and there it is. And then the Patriots will just put them over the edge. That's my hope right now. Is they're like 14 points away from that all time, and Bill just says, "Ha ha,
let's just do it."
Yeah, just give them the worst of make the Jets the worst of all time, everywhere. But yeah, just a disgusting game. Sam, 132 yards, 14 for 26, just disgusting. And guess who had the most carries for the running backs this week? If you're thinking it was Ty Johnson, who had over 100 yards for the first time in his career, you're wrong.
The guy with the concussion.
It was Frank Gore, the 37-year-old Frank Gore, whose brain is being turned into mush. Is the leading rusher for this team.
I'm not laughing at the fact that the man's hurt. I'm just laughing at the fact that he led the team with rushing again.
It's unbelievable. Give him a break. Give the guy a break.
Well, it's not like he did a lot. He didn't do a lot. He only had 8 carries in the game.
I know, but
it's not like he was overworked for a 37. He actually got a fair number of carries for a 37-year-old running back. That's what he should get.
But he got the most.
But the problem is he was tied with Ty Johnson for 8, and Josh Adams had 6. Ty Johnson just had a 100-yard game. And like I said, the first time in Adam Gase's coaching career with the Jets that he's had a 100-yard rusher, and it came from Ty Johnson. And what do you do? Here you go, Frank Gore, the love of my life, my sweetheart. Here's your
I got it.
It's
Gase is keeping his job because he's intentionally losing these games.
He has to be.
I'm telling you, he's going to be there next year.
Oh, it's.
Listen, they told that kicker, you better not make one kick. If you make a kick, you're cut. Every kick, off to the left, off to the right, off to the left. Come on, you can't miss that many kicks.
And then he's confused at what to do. He's like, am I really going to have a job next year?
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. So I saw this right before we were coming on that they claimed Chase McLaughlin off waivers from the Jaguars, and I couldn't see the rest of the message. They picked up another person, but I assumed it was they cut Castillo, but no, they still have him. So now we got 2
No
kickers.
way, they got to keep him. He's money. He's money for them.
He's insured.
3 field goals missed in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
That's how do you do that?
But they told them we don't want any points.
It's insane. It's not like this game.
Darnold, though.
It's not like this was a field goal game, though. It's
yeah, true.
It's not like they were like, "Come on, don't make these. We're only down by 1." Like
this down 37. Miss it.
This game, unlike the Giants game, this game was out of hand from kickoff. It was
oh my god,
just insane. I could not believe.
Oh, I think it's hilarious, and I think it's even more hilarious. And you need to Google this, but Sam Darnold. I was reading an article earlier, said that he is still the long-term solution for this franchise. I'm not shitting you. It's insane. The long-term solution.
Well, you know, he has down pat the opening drive, kick a field goal. He got that. He knows how to do that. Yeah. But then after that, the next page is blank. They don't know what to do. I think my brother said they have the record now for most games in a row. Is that true? Opening drive, field goal.
This season.
Okay, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they always get that field goal in the first 3 minutes, and then they can't do anything else. Game's over at that point.
Yeah, they've scored on their opening drive in 7 straight games, which is the longest streak in football, which that's a good –
What touchdown too?
No, just points. They scored points on their opening drive.
Wow.
In 7 straight games, which is an awesome fact for parties if you're – allowed to go to those wherever you live. Like, drop that in there. Nobody's going to expect that. Who's the leading team for opening drive points? The New York Jets, the powerhouse New York Jets. So that's it. If we could just stop the game on the first drive every week, undefeated. I mean, playoffs, here we come.
Yeah. So that's how they should do it. Did you see Saturday Night Live this week?
No.
Either one of you?
No.
Go back and watch the Jets skit at the end of the show. It's just what you said. 3-0 in the first quarter. We won. I don't know what happened. We won right there. And it's Pete Davidson, and he's really animated. Oh, it's unbelievable. When I was watching it, I'm like, oh, I hope Joe sees this. But
No,
yeah, go look at Saturday Night Live 2 nights ago.
That's perfect.
The Jets, they're undefeated. That's what it was. Jets are undefeated this season, not winless.
That's so bad. But yeah, I mean, they held DK Metcalf to only 61 yards. That's almost as good as
how did the Giants and Jets do that? How was that? Neither one of us really let him run wild.
Well, it's because he only played 2 quarters.
Yeah,
so he was the leading receiver. It was one drive, 60 yards.
He would have had 120 plus, but he didn't play the whole game. So,
and he was the leading receiver for the whole game. So, yeah, technically you shut him down, but did you really? Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
It's like, you have that interception early in the game, and you can't do anything with it. Then you have a huge kick return that took him to, I think it was the 30-yard line. Seattle's 30, somewhere around the 30-yard line, and they couldn't get anything from that either because, of course, Castillo can't kick through the field goals. But those are things that you just have to do. You can't win games like this. Like, you have to capitalize on these things, and they can't do it. Gase just doesn't know what to do. And firing Greg Williams seemed like a really good idea, I'm sure, to Adam Gase. And now look at how good the defense is doing. So everything is wrong. Gase has no idea what to do. You watch his press conferences, it's like watching stand-up comedy for 15 minutes because he's got no answers for anything. Nothing except for excuses on why the team is going this way, and he has to go back and look at the tape. No, you don't. It happens the same time. It's the same thing week in and week out. It's incredible how bad he is. Just inept as a coach. I can't wrap my mind around it, and I feel bad for Sam. I really do. I don't think he's this bad. I really don't. And it's like, he's not the long term. And I saw the thing too that he loves being in New York, which I don't buy that for a second. Because as soon as the season's over, he fucking shoots back to California, and he's there until training camp starts. So if you love New York and love living in New York so much,
right,
why do you leave every year? Like, that should be your home year round. So you're not even fully invested in the city, much less the team. So. But this team is it's bad. He's got to go somewhere else. The shitty thing is he's got no draft capital whatsoever now. Like, what are you going to get from him? You're better off just sitting him right now instead of letting him show off 132 yards against the worst passing defense in the league. Just put him on the bench. Say he's been playing hurt. So at least you can make something up, just say the shoulder thing isn't fully healed and he's trying to push through it, and we're just going to sit him down for the rest of the year. So at least you save a little bit there. Maybe you can get a 6th round pick for him instead of a 7th, but
I'll tell you, he's not making a case for himself.
No.
I mean, anyone that was thinking, well, I don't care, Chicago, Detroit, somebody that's thinking, maybe we'll trade for him. If they watch these last couple of games, no way.
No.
What has he shown you that he could do? Nothing.
No.
I mean, unless he stays on as a backup, and the Jets keep him as a backup quarterback, but I can't see anybody trading for him.
Well, not only that, though. Think about this. So supply and demand, right? So everybody knows the Jets if they get the number 1 pick, they're taking Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
So why would you give him anything?
No, you wouldn't.
Right.
Why
really wouldn't.
Why would you? You're not going to give up anything. I mean, honestly, I think you'd be lucky, and I mean extremely lucky, to get a 5th round pick. Extremely. I'm thinking 6th or 7th, or just release him. I don't know how much of a cap hit it will be. I don't know if it'll be anything.
Right. So then what do they do? Do they release him or just hold on to him?
I would, and then keep Flacco. Let Flacco try and develop him. I mean, at least the guy won a Super Bowl,
I think you would be better off just keeping him at that point, hoping maybe he plays good in the preseason and then you don't see him again. And then you could trade him, before the season starts or whatnot. But he's going into the last year of his contract. You're not going to pick up his 5th-year option, obviously. Nope. So worst case, you hold on to him for this year. You're taking a hit if you don't anyway. If all you're going to get is a 6th or 7th for him, Why not just hold on to him, keep him as the backup, and then maybe you get something for him, on the backside of it. I don't, or you could trade him before the deadline. Quarterback goes down and they need somebody, something like that. But, you don't get anything for cutting him. You're probably not going to save a lot of money cutting a first-round pick. I imagine the cap hit's probably pretty high. I don't know. So I don't see the point. But this team is just –
let him go. I mean, honestly, why have the distraction unless COVID's going to be the way it is? Then, you'd probably want to keep 3 quarterbacks just cause. But, I mean, let Flacco try and develop them. I'm not the biggest Flacco fan by any means. But, I mean, he may be a good teacher. I don't know how good of a teacher he is. So, again, he won a Super Bowl. He knows how to get there. He had a hell of a run in Baltimore that year. He really did. So, I mean,
it.
Right. That was it. He got that big contract, and he lived off that defense for a couple more years and didn't really do much. But I just don't see, if you're going quarterback, why would you want another quarterback you took in the first round, kind of potentially poisoning them? You know what I mean? This place sucks. It's a losing atmosphere. Plus, if that's not Gase's boy and they decide to keep Gase, then to me, you need to get rid of them. Start fresh. Start with the players, because I honestly think they're going to keep Gase. I don't know why. I just do. I don't understand why he's not gone. I don't get it. And I'm telling you, if he's there next year, it wouldn't shock me. Bring in his quarterback that they hired Gase for, was to develop a quarterback. And I mean, I'm not saying he's right, but my God, it's terrible.
After he came out and said that he failed Sam Darnold, he failed to do his job and develop the quarterback, which is the reason he was brought in. He was brought in specifically to develop Sam. Sam was already here. Adam Gase wasn't. So he was brought in to develop him, and he straight up said, I have failed to develop Sam Darnold. So you're going to hand him the keys to another quarterback?
So I don't think he is. I'm just trying to get you going. That's all.
It just – you can't do it. This team is just a disaster, and I don't see how they could potentially win another game. I really don't. And you watch, I don't know, you guys probably didn't watch the Jets game at all, but that team was just done. They were defeated. You saw like 3 and out, and Sam's just walking off the field like, oh, here we go again. The team, it looked like it just gave up. Like that loss to the Raiders was like the final straw. Like once they lost that game, it was just like, fuck it. Like we can't do anything. This is it. Like you can't win that game with 5 seconds left. Like that's it. What are you gonna? Right. You're gonna go out there and get your ass kicked by Seattle. Go out there and get your ass kicked by the Rams. Go out there and get your ass kicked by the Browns. And then for some reason you're gonna have enough fight in you to go in there and try and beat the Patriots. They're gonna be done. They're gonna be checked out. Where are we going on vacation? Where can we go on vacation? That's it. They're gonna be planning. They're gonna be getting resorts somewhere. Talking to the family.
Can you imagine being a player on that team for like job security? Honestly, that must be scary, because chances are Gase will be gone. Some other coach is going to come in and want to gut it, bring in all of his players. There'll probably be some hotshot college coach. Who knows? Gus Malzahn just got fired from Auburn. I'd be curious to see if they would ever take a chance with him. But anyways,
but that's actually a very interesting idea, because putting pieces together here, almost everybody that Joe Douglas brought in was on a 1-year contract. I don't think he signed anybody to longer than a 2-year contract. So everybody is either one and done or they're releasable after this year. Right. So that's really interesting. You're going to free up a lot of space to build something. I wonder if that's kind of what Joe Douglas was thinking here. Like he knew what the talent of this team was and what the actual, especially once you trade away Jamal Adams and
right.
And CJ Mosley opts out, then you're just like, all right, let's bring in some gap stoppers here just to hold us over till next year.
Yeah.
And then we have a high draft pick, and then it really starts. I wonder if that's kind of what he's thinking, because that would make sense why he signed so many guys to a 1-year contract. I mean, I think it was like 13 players he signed to a 1-year contract or something like that. So just a bunch of space fillers, and then that's it. Maybe
look at what Miami did. I mean, Miami cleared house. They really did. They started trading away all their pick, not all their picks, but their players. Their offensive linemen to the Texans. What's his name? Tunsil.
Yeah,
Tunsil to the Texans.
they're getting another first-round draft pick from him this year, which is going to be probably a top 10 pick.
Top 10 pick now. Fitzpatrick to the Steelers. They got their first-round pick, and they were 8-8 last year. Yeah. So, honestly, if you kind of follow that path of what Brian Rhodes and them guys did down there, and now look at them, they're 8-5. They're on, if they can probably win one more game, they're going to be in the playoffs. Chances are, with their schedule and how the Patriots are looking, I mean, it's theirs to lose, and that's in 2 years when everybody thought Rhodes was absolutely insane, and he has the balls to keep playing Tua. You know what I mean? It's like he didn't even throw the towel in this year on the season when he went from Fitzmagic to Tua. And I mean, but that blueprint for the team, the mix of veterans and rookies that they have and younger players, I mean that Gesicki in Miami for a tight end, that guy's money. Yeah, absolute money.
Yeah, he looks really good.
And Tua loves him. Get a couple more pieces around Tua, I think, and I think.
How about a running back, right? They even have a running back right now.
Well, what do they got? Like 4 running backs hurt right now. I mean,
COVID, all kinds of stuff.
Oh my God, it's brutal. And they still hung with Kansas City yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, it'll be interesting to see what the Jets do. I mean, it really will. They're going to gut that team. They're going to bring in, Trevor Lawrence. And then what offensive weapons? I think Crowder. You keep Crowder because
he's on the contract.
Target. You got Mims at wide receiver. You got Herndon at tight end, who maybe a quarterback can help him out. So you kind of have the pieces there. You're running back, who knows yet? You know what I mean? We don't know.
I think I'm predicting. I think they're going to take Clemson's running back Travis Etienne
in the second round.
I think they're going to take him in the second. That's my. I would pair them up and just make a 1-2 punch. A solid, nice.
So are they going to bring in Clemson's coach? Like I said before,
I like the idea.
And I'm telling you, him and Gus Malzahn. If you look at the history of Gus Malzahn, I've been following him since like 2004, I think, when he was coaching high school in Arkansas, and he got hired on to the University of Arkansas, and then he kind of. Where did he go? Tulsa, went to University of Tulsa, turned that into an offensive powerhouse. And then his first year at Auburn, I mean, he was he went to the SEC championship game, and the guy has a great record. It's just they haven't won it there, and you can't with Bama there, Bama and LSU. So I mean, good luck. But I mean, the guy's record for like the run and shoot type pro style offense is pretty damn good. So I don't know.
And that's what you need. That's what you need in the NFL today. I mean. That's what it's built around. That's what the rules are built around. They're built around offense. And if you can't, if you call like Jim, like your brother says, if you have a static offense, you're going to have a static score as well. But you can't play with a static offense. It's just you've got to be cutting edge when it comes to the offense to keep them off. So it's interesting. The Jets are taking a lot of heat this year, and believe it or not, there's still fans out there that I'm reading that still want to trade this pick and build around Sam. And I'm just
no way.
You're not watching the games? Like,
no way.
I could see if he's putting up 270, 280 every week, a touchdown, interception, something. But he's not even competitive. It's disgusting. No. If you could say this guy's doing it all on his own and he has no support, fine. Build support around him. But he's just not. He needs a change.
Or if he was a leader, if he was a vocal player, if he said, "Hey, team, let's get off our asses here and let's score and let's play." But you're right. I mean, I watched a little bit of the game yesterday during Red Zone, and it was like, God, they're flat. They're the flattest team I've ever seen. Yeah. And there's nobody that has taken over that team because there are no kind of veteran players on that team. I mean, Jamison Crowder, he's been there a little while, or he's been in the NFL a little while. But I mean, there's nobody on that defense to anchor it. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of young kids, and to no fault of their own, they're being left out to just drown. They really are.
Yeah, it's a sink or swim, and everybody's sinking.
It's kind of sad because I bet you some of those guys are really good ball players if you could just get somebody around them to teach them how to play.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what it has, what's to come, obviously, right? But I think you said it perfectly. They might be a laughingstock right now, but you look at what Miami did in just 2 years. You look at the position that the Jets are in with Mosley coming back next year, with high draft picks, with a lot of money to spend and a whole roster to turn over. if Joe Douglas knows what he's doing and he brings in the right coach, brings in somebody who's not going to try and run everything, but he's going to put people in positions to run things correctly, I think it's the right way to go instead of the boss trying to take care of everything. I think you go that way if it's me. But a lot of changes to come, and I think there's a lot of upward momentum. And hopefully in 2 years we're looking back going, the Jets did it right. That's what I'm hoping. They'll find a way to fuck it up. They always do. But everything is in line for upward momentum, because you can't go any lower than that.
Right.
You just can't. Right? I mean, they're on pace right now to be the worst team ever. Statistically, everything. So,
did Eric Bieniemy ever play for the Jets or Giants? Did he ever play for any New York teams?
I don't know.
Or was it like the Steelers? Because he went to Colorado, I want to say, and I know he bounced around in the NFL for a while. I just don't know if he ever played.
No, he wasn't on the Giants. Wasn't he in like Cleveland or no, he wasn't Giants. He didn't play with the Giants.
Let me see here, because I thought he went to Colorado.
I think he played in KC.
Did he play? Let's see. Yeah, he went to Colorado.
KC and maybe Cleveland.
San Diego, Cincy, and Philly. Okay, I was way off then. I thought he played for Pittsburgh for whatever reason. But okay, so he played for San Diego, drafted by San Diego, second-round pick. I mean, he was in the league for 8 years, and now he's bouncing around as a coach and assistant head coach and offensive coordinator now. And I mean, I'll tell you what, if you want a guy that's going to bring in an offense like Kansas City, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows the blueprint for it. He knows how to succeed. And, my God. And
I as much as I hate this, and I hate the rule that they instituted, but now if you hire a minority coach, you get extra draft picks.
Yeah,
which I think is horseshit. I think you should hire somebody off of their merit and not off of what race they are or what,
But at least you know one thing: if anybody hires Bieniemy, it's not because of that.
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean. At least you know that.
Yeah. So not only, but for the Jets, yes, I would go after him because one, you're getting an Andy Reid coach,
disciple, right?
Yep. So somebody from his tree, which is an excellent coaching tree, what he produces, you're getting a couple extra draft picks. You're getting an offensive-minded coach, and I think you're getting somebody who's going to know how to run a coaching staff from watching. Like Andy Reid doesn't meddle in everybody's shit, right? Like he lets his coaches coach, and he just kind of runs the team. Like, Adam Gase,
which is what a head coach is supposed to,
right? And these guys get so caught up in all the minute details, trying to call offenses, trying to call defenses, arguing with your coaches. Like, just let your guys do their thing. Guide your coaches to run the team the way you want it to be run. That's what you should be doing. But these guys don't do it. But Andy Reid does it, Bill does it, and it works out great. So we'll see. But anyway, this is dragging on. Sorry, I'm losing track of time here talking about the Jets. I could do this all day, but which is hard to believe on an 0-16 team to come. But anyway,
0 forever.
Right. So hopefully. No, we'll wrap it up with that. I'm going to have to post this since this whole website went wonky today. I don't know what happened with our recording site, so I apologize for not being live, even though it says we're live. But I'll download this and put it up on YouTube later for your guys' viewing pleasure. And we will be back next week. And I promise we'll get it straightened out so we don't have any weird stuff going on and you guys can interact with us, because definitely was not as fun without you. But until then, watching this, please subscribe again. Please spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your family, just blow them up. Just annoy the hell out of them until they subscribe and help us grow, please, because it is hard to do without you. So until the Week 15 preview show.
Week 15.
Almost over.
It's almost over.
Almost over. So, we will see you guys then. Until then, have a great week. And for John, for Jim, I'm Joe, and we will catch you guys next time.